In this next topic, we're going to talk about full self-driving, and we've had a pretty hot take on full self-driving for a while, and I've really never talked about, or I've never believed in the value of full self-driving. I don't recommend spending $15,000, but it seems like Tesla also does not value full self-driving, and specifically when we mean by that, we're going to talk about the truth about the value of full self-driving when you're looking to trade your vehicle, and of course specifically to Tesla. But we'll also talk about what's the value of full self-driving if you're looking to private sell your vehicle. From what we've seen in the past through all the different vehicle sales, we've sold 3 Teslas so far, and we've bought 4 Teslas so far, and I can tell you from experience what the value is on the second-hand market as well. But we're going to talk about, but if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Electric, they posted this. Tesla is valuing full self-driving high only when it's convenient. So if you take a look at this, of course it's also a pretty hot take as well, but what it's basically getting into from Electric is that Tesla values full self-driving at $15,000 when you go to buy a Tesla or buy a Model S with a referral credit and get 3 months of full self-driving. But when you go to buy a Tesla with the full self-driving, it's going to cost you an overwhelming $15,000. But the quick thing with this is I've never recommended purchasing full self-driving. I fell for it once when I bought my Model 3. I paid $6,000 and I prayed and hoped for full self-driving beta the whole time, and unfortunately by 2 years when I owned the vehicle, at the end of it when I sold it and did not ever get the experience of full self-driving beta. But if you are so inclined that you really want full self-driving, I'd rather you buy the vehicle without it first and then pay for the subscription after. If you don't know that, if you buy a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, you can pay a subscription for full self-driving or enhanced autopilot. Enhanced autopilot is $100 a month and full self-driving is $200 a month. So I'd rather you buy the vehicle without it and then just pay for the subscription services after that if you really want to try the full self-driving beta and all the different features. But when you buy a Tesla, of course, when you buy it, Tesla's going to charge you $15,000 because that's what they feel like the value of it is. But when you go trade the vehicle, as this Electric article is implying, when you go trade the vehicle, Tesla doesn't really value that amount at all. If anything, they value it at only a couple $1,000s, and actually that is what I would say the street value of full self-driving really is. If you look at a used 2019 Model 3 without full self-driving and then compare it to a used 2019 Model 3 with full self-driving, you're going to see anywhere from like $2,000 to $3,000 difference between the market. And of course you can try and see that as an added benefit if you can get it at the same price, and of course it could be worth it. But at the end of the day, on top of that, you have to look at what type of hardware this full self-driving might come with. Around 2019 there was actually hardware 2.5 and then went to hardware 3, and of course now, as most of you probably know, there's now hardware 4, which kind of makes hardware 3.0 obsolete. So it's just a never-ending game, just like how there's always the latest iPhone or latest Android phone. And so certainly it's a never-ending game that you will never be able to win and or never be able to time. So that's certainly the thing with full self-driving, unless you're able to get it at a pretty good deal on a used one and try and get the features or test it out. It certainly doesn't feel like it's worth it at the moment until it actually comes out in full release with Robotaxi and anything like that. If anything, you're just kind of giving your money for free as a loan, or giving your money actually not even as loan, because you don't get any return to Tesla for them to test out their full self-driving and much more. So hopefully that makes sense to you. That's really the truth about the value of full self-driving, and really Tesla and also the street don't value it at $15,000, but I know some of you might be really inclined to buy it at the end of the day. But the one thing to also to be aware about, or to have a caveat about, is that you gotta keep your mind, like, yes, it's on the window sticker when you buy the vehicle and it's got $15,000 of full self-driving, but if you knock on wood, if you ever get into a really bad accident, your vehicle is totaled, unless you have gap, it's going to be very hard pressed to be able to get that value of that full self-driving back. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. how much or what is the value do you think full self-driving actually is, and how much would you be willing to pay for it? And if you didn't know about the subscription for service, definitely drop a comment down below as well if you're looking to do that instead, because depending on how long you keep the vehicle, 4 to 5 years, you could still be ahead, and you could cancel it month to month and then go right back on. But we're going to jump into the next topic. But before we do that, this video is like sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link. You support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla, all lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description.